entertainment correspondent from Los Angeles. Big weekend at the box office. Good morning, Jason.
Do you still have your friend's number, by the way?
She's married now, Jason.
She's married and kids, and
Gotcha.
yeah. All right, Jason. Everybody wants to know. We're here with bated breath. Everyone's chimed in on A Star Is Born. What do you think? What do you know?
It is one of the most hyped movies of the year so far. They're talking Oscars for Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper. If you read the reviews, it's just like, give them the Oscars already. I will say it is overhyped. Not that it's a bad movie at all. It is a very, very good movie. But temper your expectations, I think, a little bit going into it. It's not the be-all, end-all of movies. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga star in this story, which we've seen before. This is the fourth one, by the way. You had Judy Garland, you had Barbara Streisand before. We haven't had a Star Is Born in quite a while, so a lot of people probably don't know or remember those films. But Bradley Cooper directs this, and he is fantastic. He is going to get an Oscar nomination for sure. Lady Gaga is also very good, stripped down of all her Lady Gaga-ness. She is very real, very plain in this movie, and the two of them singing together. Who knew Bradley Cooper had such a great voice? But he really does, and he can rock. And this movie is a lot of fun. I had some serious problems with it towards the end and choices that they made, which I can't really get into without spoiling it. But I did really enjoy most of it, and it's a lot of fun. It is emotional. I will say that most of and not to be sexist, but I saw it was mostly women at the end of this film in my screening were crying their eyes out. I mean, tears streaming down their faces and snot bubbles, the whole thing. I mean, they really got emotional at the end. And that's what the film is trying to make you do. So it worked in a lot of ways there.
I agree with you to some extent, but talk about, Jason, this is an adult movie for adults, and Hollywood doesn't make adult movies anymore like this.
Well, I mean, I don't know. This is the time of the year where we're going to get a lot of these.
Right.
It's Oscar time, and this is definitely an Oscar movie. So we have this. We have First Man coming out next week, which is about Neil Armstrong and the moon landing, which is a very adult movie. Most of I think the Oscar caliber movies are adult movies. So this is one of those, and I think we get a fair amount of those each year. Now, most of them don't get as much hype, and they don't do as well at the box office as this is probably going to do. This is going to make $30 million or so this weekend. It's easily going to make $100 million or more. A lot of those Oscar caliber movies don't make that kind of money, which is maybe why the studios don't make as much of them as you would like.
Right. How come this is getting so much hype?
Because it had a long time on the festival circuit, debuting, I believe, at Venice, and then it was at Toronto, and so many of those and winning lots of awards. And they've done a press tour that seems like it's gone on for 2 months. So you've seen so many people, so many red carpets that they've had in all these cities, in London and Hollywood, and at these film festivals. So they've really milked the publicity for this, and done a good job about it. But a lot of people were anticipating this for a while because they've been trying to remake this for several years. Originally, Beyonce was attached, and then when they did this Bradley Cooper Lady Gaga version, a lot of people were excited about that. They were filming scenes at Coachella last year, and there was buzz behind that. So there's been buzz behind this movie for a long time.
Did I read somewhere that somebody tried to talk Bradley Cooper out of making this movie?
I did not see that. It's possible, I guess. I mean, and it's a really hard thing to do, to star in a movie and to direct it at the same time and give the performance. He gives a fantastic performance. I mean, Bradley Cooper really sinks into this role, and he kind of disappears. He changes his voice in a way that's, not gimmicky. You really kind of believe it, and he sings and rocks. And then to direct it as well, and it's the first movie he's ever directed. And he gets a lot of credit for directing Lady Gaga, who, she brings a lot of baggage to a role because it's hard not to see Lady Gaga.
Right.
And the way he does this, you see Stephanie, which is her real name, and you don't see the big star, although there are so many parallels between her rise to stardom and her character's rise to stardom,
right.
you can't help compare the two.
Yeah, I loved the ensemble cast. Chappelle was great. Andrew Dice Clay was great. I don't think there was a clunker in the bunch.
Andrew Dice Clay was a lot of fun playing Lady Gaga's dad. I really liked every scene he was in was a lot of fun. Dave Chappelle, I enjoyed, and I enjoyed him being a little more serious and not the comic relief. But I would have liked more of him. I mean, he was barely used. And Sam Elliott is great as Bradley Cooper's older brother.
Yeah. All right, Jason, you can come back next week. I'd like to talk to you off the air about this because I agree with you and I disagree with you with your criticism about the end of the movie. But that's what makes great movies. We can sit and argue and debate it and argue it and everything else. But that's what makes a great movie. Jason, have a good week. Thanks for checking in.
All right.